This is tutorial number 71, and it covers how to use the rectangular pattern feature within Catia v5. To start off, open up tutorial part number 71, which is located on the DVD. Now, to find the rectangular pattern feature, what you have to do is click Insert, click Transformation Features, click Rectangular Pattern. Now, with the rectangular pattern, the parameters that you need to use are you need a feature to pattern, and then you need a line or edge to pattern along. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to cut into this plate, and then we're going to use the edges to pattern along, and then we're also going to create a sketch, so just one sketch line across here, to also pattern along. So to start off, let's create our first feature. So let's click this face, click Sketch, and let's sketch a circle. So just click, sketch a circle in the middle, and let's dimension this to 10 millimeters. And let's position it in the bottom left corner, and we'll dimension it to 10 by 10 from the edges. So from this edge to the middle, make it 10, and from the vertical edge to the center, we'll make that 10 also. So now that we have our sketch, let's exit the workbench, and now let's use the pocket feature to cut it out. So click Pocket, click the sketch we just made, click OK, and now we've made our first feature that we're going to use to pattern. So we're going to take this feature and we're going to pattern along this edge here, and that's going to be our first pattern. So let's click Insert, Transformation, Rectangular Pattern. So now we have the rectangular pattern definition box, and you can see that we have a few things we need to fill in right now. So the first one I'd like to put in is the object to pattern. So click on there, and you can either select by clicking on it in the part or clicking on it in the tree. And I think clicking from the tree is a lot easier because you won't be clicking on another part by accident, and it's a lot more precise. So let's just click the pocket. Now for the reference direction, we're going to have to choose a line to pattern along. So we're going to do the bottom edge here. So let's click this bottom edge here. And you can see that from the rectangular pattern and the settings that are already in the definition box, that it's made another feature right beside it. So right now the instances are at 2, and what we have to do is keep going and increasing them. So as you increase, it's going to create the increase the instances. As you increase the spacing between each instance is going to increase also. So let's put this to 20, and let's make 15 instances. Click OK, and you can see that it runs all the way across. Click OK again, and now we have our 15 instances, and we have our rectangular pattern going along the bottom edge. Now let's do the same thing, but let's go on the vertical edge here. So let's click Insert, Transformation Feature, click the rectangular pattern. Now let's choose the pocket again, and let's choose the reference direction. We'll choose the vertical edge here. And you can see right now in the preview, it's going in the wrong direction, so we're going to have to flip it. So you can either flip it with this arrow or flip it with this reverse button. So put it in the right direction, and we're going to need 5 instances. Click OK, and you can see the preview looks good. Click OK again, and now we've done it going on the vertical edge. Now if we delete this rectangular pattern, we can actually pattern a existing rectangular pattern also. So we're going to pattern all of these guys going up to fill up the whole plate. So let's click Insert, click Transformation Feature, Rectangular Pattern, and our object to pattern is going to be the first rectangular pattern, and the reference direction is going to be the vertical line. Let's reverse the direction, and it looks good. Everything's in the right direction, everything's cutting in. Let's click OK. And now we've cut in to the plate using the rectangular pattern. So we've patterned a existing rectangular pattern to fill up the whole plate. Now let's delete both of these patterns. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that exact same pattern that we just did, but we're going to do it in one step. Click Insert, Transformation Feature, Rectangular Pattern. And let's choose the pocket. And now let's choose the first direction. So we're going to make it go along this line. And now we're going to be choosing the second direction. So in the first ones that we've been doing, we've only been doing one direction. So you also have the option to do two at the same time. So let's click the second direction. And let's click this line here. And we'll just reverse it and increase the instances to 5 so it goes all the way up. And we'll put these to 15. Click Enter. And you can see that just with one single rectangular pattern, we're able to go horizontally and vertically and fill up the entire plate. Now let's click OK. And now we've done our rectangular pattern. From one feature, we've created multiple features on this one plate. So from the one feature, we've been able to use the rectangular pattern and pattern the entire plate. Now, right now, all we've been using is the edges of the rectangle plate. So let's delete this rectangular pattern, and let's use a sketch as our definition line, so our path to follow. So let's click this face, click Sketch, and from the origin, let's just draw a line straight out, and let's dimension this with an angle. And right now it's at 12 degrees, so let's put it to 15 degrees. Click OK, and let's exit this workbench. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pattern along this line here. So let's click Insert, click Transform, Rectangular Pattern. Now we're going to select our pocket, and our reference direction is going to be this line here. And you can see that rather than following a straight line, so kind of like on a 90-degree angle, what we're doing is we're following this line that's on the 15-degree angle. Now we'll click OK, and we've made our pattern on an angle. Now these angles, they have to be a straight line. It can't be a curved line, so it's not going to follow that. With the rectangular pattern, it's only going to follow a straight line. Now we're also able to edit the sketch of the line. So by moving this line, it's going to move the pattern when we rebuild. So let's double click on the line. Sorry, double click on the sketch, and let's change this to 20 degrees. Click OK. Now when we rebuild, everything with all the circles are going to follow this new line rather than the 15. And you can see how it's adjusted and moved up there. Now let's double click on it again. Let's make it 5 degrees this time. Click OK. Click Accept, and you can see now that all the circle patterns are going on that 5-degree angle. Now if we change the original sketch, we're also able to change what the output's going to be. So let's just delete this circle. And what I'm going to do is draw a little square, and I'm just going to draw it around the center of that circle point there. So I'm going to exit the workbench. And now you can see that rather than the circles, we now have squares. So you're able to edit the sketch from the original pocket or extrude that you made, and it's going to allow you to update your rectangular pattern automatically. So in this tutorial, we've gone through creating the feature and creating the lines that we're going to create our rectangular pattern. So to do the rectangular pattern, you need the feature and you need the edge for it to run along. And that concludes our tutorial on how to use the rectangular pattern feature within Catia v5.